The Galactic Council Hall was silent, but not calm. Hundreds of representatives from different alien races sat in a massive, circular chamber floating above a blue star. Holographic symbols hovered in the air, showing maps of conquered systems, trade routes, and war zones. The galaxy was changing fast, and everyone in the room knew it. Wars had become normal. One empire after another was expanding. Smaller worlds were falling. Refugees were everywhere. Power decided truth now. An elderly historian from the Valari race slowly stood up. His species was known for memory and records, not strength. Most of the council barely paid attention when he spoke. "I request permission to open an ancient archive," he said calmly. Several leaders sighed. Ancient archives were useless. That was what everyone believed. "Speak quickly," said the warlord of the Car Dominion. "We are discussing real threats, not old stories." The historian nodded. A hologram appeared in the center of the hall. It showed a faded symbol, almost erased by time. "Long before the current empires," the historian said, "there was a species that shaped much of the early galaxy." Murmurs spread. The symbol changed into a single word. Ashwan's laughter erupted across the chamber. Some delegates mocked openly. Others shook their heads with amusement. "Humans?" one commander said. "Those myths again?" "Children's stories," another added. "Scare tales to keep young races obedient." The historian did not sit down. His voice stayed steady. "Records show that humans once controlled fleets unlike anything we have today." The laughter grew louder. A council leader raised his tentacled arm. "Enough. Humans never existed. There are no living remains. No planets. No technology." "That is incorrect," the historian replied. "There are ruins." "Ruins without proof," the leader snapped. "Every ancient ruin gets labeled human when no one understands it." The historian paused, then said quietly, "Because humans erased themselves from history." That caused a brief silence, then more laughter. The Car warlord leaned forward. "So now the myth says humans vanished by choice?" "Yes," the historian said. "After a galaxy-wide conflict, they withdrew." "Or they were wiped out," the warlord replied. "Like all weak races." The historian shook his head slowly. "Humans were not weak. They were patient." That word drew attention. Patient. The council leader dismissed him with a wave. "Enough. Humanity is a legend. We have real enemies to face." The historian sat down, his work ignored once again. The meeting continued. More worlds were divided. More invasions planned. But far from the council hall, something changed. On the edge of known space, a deep space monitoring station drifted in silence. It had been built to watch empty darkness. Nothing ever happened there until the alarms activated. A junior officer stared at the screen. Confused. "That is not possible," she whispered. The scanner showed a signal. Old, structured, intentional. It was not random noise. It was repeating. The officer called her commander. "Sir, we are receiving a transmission." "From where?" the commander asked. She swallowed. "From beyond mapped space." The commander frowned. "Identify the source." The system worked through ancient databases, files that had not been opened in centuries. Then a warning appeared. "Language match." The commander leaned closer. "Which language?" The screen displayed a result that made the room cold. "Human Standard Transmission FORM-8. Room went silent. "That cannot be correct," the commander said slowly. The signal repeated. Again, calm, precise, controlled. It was not a distress call. It was not a warning. It was a greeting. The commander ordered a full scan of the surrounding space. Long-range sensors activated, pushing their limits. At first, nothing appeared. Then the stars shifted, not because of movement, but because something massive was blocking their light. Shadows formed, where there should have been stars. The officer whispered, "Sir, space is not empty anymore." The commander stared at the screen, his voice low. "Humans are not real," he said, repeating what the galaxy believed. But the signal kept repeating, and the darkness kept growing, far away, in the heart of the Galactic Council. Laughter still echoed. They had no idea that a myth had just spoken, and it was coming closer. The deep space station was no longer quiet. Officers moved fast between consoles. Screens flashed with warning symbols and data streams. The signal continued to repeat, calm and steady, as if it had all the time in the universe. Commander Ralvik stood at the center of the control room. He had served in 3 wars. He had seen planets burn. But he had never seen anything like this. "Run the translation again," he ordered. "We already did," the analyst replied. 3 times. "The structure is perfect. No errors. No decay." Ralvik clenched his jaw. Nothing that old should still be so clean. The signal pulsed again. A junior officer hesitated, then spoke. "Sir, the transmission is waiting for a response." The room froze. "Waiting?" Ralvik asked. "Yes, it pauses. As if it expects someone to answer." That made no sense. Lost probes sent noise. Ancient ruins stayed silent. But this signal behaved like a living mind. "Open restricted archives," Ralvik said. Several officers exchanged looks. "Those files are sealed by council law," one said. Ralvik did not turn. "Then we break the law." The archive doors opened digitally. Dusty records flooded the screens. Wars older than empires. Names erased from official history. And again, the same word appeared. HUMANs. The files described fleets that fought without panic. Ships that retreated only to return stronger. Commanders who valued patience more than speed. One line caught Ralvik's attention. "Humans do not rush victory. They prepare it." "Sir," the sensor officer said quietly, "long-range scanners are detecting mass shadows." "How many?" Ralvik asked. The officer hesitated. "We cannot count them yet." "That many?" Ralvik asked. "Yes." The shadows were not moving fast. They were drifting, slow, controlled, confident. Whatever was coming did not fear detection. Back at the Galactic Council, the meeting had grown louder. Arguments filled the hall. Territory claims, threats, power plays. A council aide rushed in, panic clear on his face. "Emergency transmission from the outer sector," he shouted. The council leader frowned. "We are busy." "This cannot wait," the aide insisted. The transmission played. Commander Ralvik's image appeared, his voice tense. "We have confirmed an active human origin signal," he said. "It is not automated. It is intelligent." The chamber erupted again. "This is absurd," a council member shouted. "Your station is malfunctioning." "The signal is ancient," another said. Old debris echo. Ralvik continued, ignoring them. "We are also detecting massive objects entering mapped space." The laughter slowly faded. "Define massive," the warlord of the Car Dominion demanded. Ralvik took a breath. "Each object is larger than our largest warship." Silence fell. "That is not possible," the warlord said. "We thought so too," Ralvik replied. Until the stars began to disappear. The feed cut. Fear spread quietly through the chamber. "No panic," the council leader said. "It is likely an unknown alien fleet." But doubt had entered their minds. On the edge of space, the human signal changed. For the first time, it added something new. Coordinates. Not a threat. Not a demand. Not an invitation. At the station. The junior officer looked at Ralvik. "Sir, they want us to look at them." Ralvik stared at the darkness ahead. "Or they want us to be ready," he said. Suddenly. Scanners stabilized. The shadows became shapes. Clear, sharp, Impossible. Massive wedge-shaped vessels, covered in scars and layered armor, drifted into view. Their hulls were dark, old, but alive with faint lights. No symbols. No banners. Just presence. The human signal played one final time. A calm voice filled the station. This is a courtesy. Notice. Every officer stood frozen. We are entering known space. The transmission ended. Ralvik whispered the truth that no one wanted to accept. They were never. Myth. Outside the viewport, the first human warship crossed the line between legend and reality. And it was not alone. Across the galaxy, something strange began to happen. Communication delays increased. Navigation systems showed small errors. Not enough to cause panic, but enough to make experienced commanders uneasy. Space itself felt heavier, as if it was being watched. At the deep space station, Commander Ralvik stood before the main viewport. The human ships were fully visible now. They did not glow like modern fleets. They did not shine with fresh metal or bright shields. Their hulls were dark, layered, and scarred. Each mark told a story of survival. Each ship looked less like a vehicle and more like a moving fortress. They look old, an officer whispered. Yes, Ralvik replied. Old does not mean weak. Sensors struggled to read them. Energy output was low, yet impossible to define. The ships were quiet, almost polite, but the space around them bent slightly, as if respecting their presence. No weapons charging, the weapons officer reported. No shields raised. That makes it worse, Ralvik said. In the Galactic Council Hall, silence had replaced arguments. The massive screen showed live footage from multiple systems. Everywhere, the same shapes appeared. Not attacking, not chasing, just arriving. They are surrounding key systems, a strategist said. Trade routes, military hubs, council worlds. The car warlord slammed his fist. They are positioning for war. Or control, another replied. A council elder spoke slowly. No, if this were war, we would already be dead. That truth settled heavily. The human fleet was not rushing. It was placing itself exactly where it needed to be. Back at the station, the human transmission returned. This time, it was directed to all open channels. A single voice spoke. Calm, clear, neither hostile nor friendly. We acknowledge your presence. No threats. No demands. Just acknowledgement. This is psychological warfare, someone muttered. Ralvik shook his head. No, this is confidence. The voice continued. For centuries, you believed we were gone. Images flashed across the screens. Old star maps. Ancient battles. Lost systems. Some matched Forbidden's records. Others had never been seen before. You called us myths. The fleet did not move. We accepted that. Council members exchanged looks. No species had ever accepted being erased. The transmission paused, then continued. We left because the galaxy was not ready. A sharp intake of breath spread through the hall. Not ready. For what? The council leader demanded, though no one could answer. At the edge of known space, a smaller alien fleet panicked. Its commander ordered shields up. Weapons powered on. The human ships reacted instantly, not by firing. Space around the alien fleet shifted. Engines failed. Weapons shut down. Shields collapsed like they had never existed. No explosions. No damage. Just complete control. The human voice spoke again. Now softer. This is not an attack. The alien fleet drifted helplessly. This is a demonstration. The systems restored themselves seconds later. The alien ships survived. Their crews shaken but alive. The message was clear. Humans did not need to destroy to win. Back in the council hall, fear finally replaced denial. They could have killed them. someone whispered. But they chose not to, another replied. The human transmission reached its final phase. We return now, the voice said. Not as rulers. The fleet began to align, forming patterns older than current civilizations. We return as guardians. The word echoed. Guardians. Double quotes for those who were silenced. Images appeared of broken worlds, enslaved species, forgotten civilizations. And as a warning, the voice continued, to those who believe power is only destruction. The transmission ended. The fleet held position. No advance. No retreat. Just waiting. Commander Ralvik exhaled slowly. They are not here to conquer us. An officer looked at him. Then why are they here? Ralvik watched the ancient ships, steady and patient. To remind the galaxy, he said, what real power looks like. Far across the stars. History changed direction. The galaxy had stopped laughing, and humanity had not even raised its weapons. Asterisk. The galaxy did not sleep that cycle. Across hundreds of systems, leaders watched the same image again and again. Ancient human ships, silent and unmoving, holding positions with perfect control. No threats were sent. No orders were given. And yet, everyone understood. The balance of power had changed. At the Galactic Council Hall, fear no longer hid behind pride. The council leader stood slowly, his voice low. We need to respond, he said. With what? Someone asked. No one answered. For the first time in generations, the council had no advantage. No secret weapon. No larger fleet. No plan. A single message request appeared on the council screen. Human fleet open CA Janalil. The council leader hesitated. Then nada. The chamber fell completely silent. The human commander appeared as a hologram. Not in armor. Not seated on a throne. Just standing, calm and composed. His face showed age, not weakness. I speak for humanity, he said. No title. No rank. You erased us from your records, the commander continued. You turned our history into a myth. That was convenient for you. The car warlord leaned forward. If you were so powerful, why leave? The human commander looked at him, not with anger, but with understanding. Because power without restraint destroys everything, he said, including itself. The words struck deeper than any threat. We watched, the commander continued. We learned. We waited. Images appeared behind him. Galaxies rising and falling. Empires collapsing under their own weight. When the strong preyed on the weak, we recorded it. More images. Enslaved worlds. Broken treaties. When voices were silenced, we remembered them. The council leader spoke carefully. Why return now? The human commander paused. Because the galaxy is repeating the same mistakes, he said. And this time, the damage would be permanent. Silence filled the hall. We are not here to rule, the commander said. We are not here to punish. The human fleet shifted slightly, just enough to be noticed. We are here to enforce balance. A council member whispered. And if we refuse? The commander's voice remained calm. Then you will continue, he said, without us interfering. Relief spread for a moment. But, he added, you will not survive what comes next. The relief vanished. Humanity was not threatening them. Humanity was warning them. In the following days, something incredible happened. Borders stabilized. Fleets withdrew. Empires paused their expansions. Not because they were ordered to, but because they finally understood the cost of ignoring restraint. On forgotten worlds, signals returned. Aid arrived. Protection followed. The human fleet did not occupy planets. They did not build bases. They stayed in the dark, watching. Always watching. At the deep space station, Commander Ralvik watched the stars once more. The fear he once felt was gone. They could control everything, an officer said. Why choose not to? Ralvik answered quietly. Because they already did once. Back at the council, a final decision was made. The historical record was updated. The word myth was removed. A new classification was added. Humanity active galactic geordians far beyond the council. The human commander addressed his fleet. We remain, he said. Not forever. Only as long as needed. The massive ships slowly adjusted their positions, forming a silent shield. Around key regions of space, humanity had not returned with fire. They had returned with patience. And the galaxy finally understood the truth. Humans were never. Legends fade with time. Humanity arrived with fleets, and they stayed.